Greetings. The first thing you got to understand in this home exercise series 3, video 3, is that breathing exercises is the most greatest exercise, or what everything is. Every exercise benefits you in some way or another. Spiritual exercise profits you in every way, though, but that's another subject. Breathing is very good for you, especially in the country. Maybe not do too well in the city when it's polluted air or if you smoke. But it's better to do exercises in a polluted area than do none at all, because you've got to breathe. You don't breathe, you're going to die. But it's much better and perfectly done in places like the country area. It's fresh air. If you have smoking problems in the country area, it can be cleaned out very easily through oxygen. Okay, if you know the strategy behind it. You stand, horse stand, anything that you do, whether it's a horse stance or a middle stance, okay, it has to, the knees have to be slightly bent. You see where the classical kung fu method, okay, comes into the scene, where your legs have to be slightly bent. If they're straight, there's pressure on the knees. Not just in breathing. Breathing is just a light exercise, but any exercise that you do. And it takes longer to go down and then back up in combat. But if you're bent in combat, you can move like a horse. You're not in a horse stance. You can move like a walking pace, or whatever your stance is, whether it's horse stance or not, the knees are bent. So by bending the knees slightly, keeping the stomach in, and one of these bowels, you don't put it too tight or else you put it just enough. Will bring the stomach in. So by having this belt on all day or 1 hour, or as long as you can tolerate it, will develop the stomach area. And you're not doing that. You might be doing work or reading. It's still developing the stomach. Keeps the stomach in, but it has to be where the belly button is. With the right place where you put the belt, not underneath. Because if you put it underneath like today, the stomach's going to pop out and it's going to become fat. If you put it down here at the right place, it's going to put the stomach in. Okay? This is why a lot of women in the old days used to put the kind of dresses where they used to squeeze too much, so they look skinny. Eventually they become skinny because the pressure causes the body to become skinny. The problem with that is that it was too tight and a lot of girls suffocated. So you don't put it too tight. I can probably go tighter than this. So I'm losing weight like you wouldn't believe, but that may be too tight. It has to be halfway, so I want to put it halfway. All I have is a little bit loose. You put it on the next one a bit too tight. It has to be halfway between the next one and this one. This one is loose, the next one is too tight. So that's all right now. Okay. So you stay in this position, put the stomach in. By keeping the stomach in, whether you're walking, doing any job, or doing breathing exercises, any exercises, it becomes an isometric tension. Isometric tension is part of exercise. You know about isometrics. I'm going to have to take my top off so you can see this. Excuse me for this, but they're not going to understand if you're a beginner if I don't do this. So excuse me, but I have to, okay? For the sake of the beginner, okay? So, if the stomach is normal, I put the stomach in, it gives an isometric tension here. Okay? You put the legs down, it's putting pressure on the legs and developing the legs. So if you're walking around, you may walk kind of like this. It's putting pressure onto the stomach. And 24/7 if you're doing it for long. Apart from sleeping, every time you're up walking around, doing whatever, washing dishes, workforce, whatever, your stomach is going to develop, your whole body is going to develop, but 99% stomach is going to develop. Controlled breathing is breathing exercise. Breathing all the way down here, not just up here. The problem with smokers or people that are in polluted areas is it's not the cigarette. Really, it's not. It is because they smoke that they have learned to inhale the cigarette right down here, and yet the cigarette has weakened the area that they have learned not to breathe proper oxygen down here. If a smoker learns to breathe like he did when he first was born, and when they were young children, all the way down here, it will defeat the purpose of the cigarette. It will destroy the cigarette. The problem with smokers or drug users, like marijuana, is they weaken that area with the smoke, that they cannot breathe here to do what's called in singing or in there's the wrong way of singing, or in exercise, the wrong way of exercise. It's shallow breathing. In singing, they call it shallow breathing, which is the wrong way of breathing, and they breathe kind of like that here. But the idea is to breathe all the way down here and clean up the system. What goes in, whether we eat or drink, comes out the backside or the front. In the same manner, if polluted air has been put in, that's no problem as long as you flush it out of your system. You flush out urine through the toilet because your body functions that way, and drinks for human consumption. As long as it is, you can stop with human consumption, so give you an effect, coffee, whatever it is, Coca-Cola. Some of it is good, a little bit, but too much can destroy your system. But it's not for human consumption. Organic stuff, natural organic stuff are for human consumption. So food will come out number 2. Water will come out number 1. Okay. Water is good for you. It's for human consumption. If Coca-Cola was for human consumption, this would be good for you too, but in actual fact, it's not. Too much sugar. Don't know if there's any living being that can eat sugar, but anyway. Good sugar from a fruit that's different, that's for human consumption, something that's different type. It's different. So as then, by saying this, what comes in must come out. So you cannot flush cigarette smoke out of your lungs because it's not for human consumption. If it was, you'd be able to do that, and you would have no problem. It cannot come from number 1 or number 2 or number 3. Therefore, you have to flush it out some other one. So what you do, well, this is what you do if you're not a smoker, but especially if you're a smoker, you've got to do this. You stand in this position and come in, and breathe it right out. Okay, now, the moment you breathe in, all the good air that comes coming into the system comes in, and you may cough it out, but the little air will back out. Or you may breathe it out. Comes in, the good air, out the bad air. So that way, it's tobacco stains or coffee, whatever, because it's not into your lungs, oxygen goes into your whole body. Okay, poisonous substance, whatever, gets flushed out. And the body will function correctly, that it would work, that it would come out from number 1, 2, and 3 as well. A lot of it in different ways will flush it out. But if it doesn't flush it out because you're doing shallow breathing, it remains here and all mold starts to happen. It's like something, I don't know, it's like this. I didn't realise there's like in here. If you notice this, look at this. Look at this. I didn't notice that because that was my hand. Look, that's all mold. Because that hasn't been cleaned, that mold starts to become that big. You know, bigger, because of how many times you shit on it. If that's in your lung, it's going to destroy it. But if you clean that out, it's not there anymore. You may have stain that's starting to get. It's the same thing in it's the same thing with smoke, because things like that, but not chippy shit, because tar, nicotine, whatever, so you've got to flush, you've got to clean it. It works with water intake, pure water, pure oxygen. You send the oxygen and the water through the bloodstream, the water will go automatically, but without the oxygen, it's not going to do much. It's on its own, but with oxygen, you have double the health. With healthy food, you'll have triple the health. And with healthy water intakes, drinks, healthy drinks, fruit and vegetables, whatever, will clean vitamins, will clean it out. It has to have everything to be balanced. You can't just have all of that except one, because it's not a balance. It has to have everything balanced. All waters, proper healthy drinks, proper fruits, proper food as a balanced diet is concerned, in the healthy side of it. Okay? Plenty of oxygen, plenty of whatever you need for this system, and what else is there, whatever there is, don't think about it, okay, there's something else, okay. So you breathe in and out. It's just a classical way that you probably never be used in combat, but this is what cleans out the system. It may never be used in combat, and its purpose is for health reasons rather than combat. You can actually learn how to adjust to find the right way of combat that way, but not necessarily that you use these methods for combat. You just use this method to work out the real combat. Training is different than real combat. In the same manner, this is mainly used to clean up the system. Slow moves like Tai Chi, or stand. You don't have to accelerate that far. I just showed you what you don't have to do. Just come in little steps, okay? Comfortable walking pace. And breathe right down, and right out. Let that bad air right out. It's just what comes in must come out. If it doesn't come out, it's in there. Or mold builds up, as in tar, mold of tar and coal and whatever, and it goes off. And when it goes off, you get cancer, heart attacks, whatever. Just talk to the doctor. Okay, that's what I do and clean up my system. I'm actually a smoker, not a heavy smoker. I still might have it going to 60 or 70 a day because I start from a very young age. My habit always goes under 20 most of the time, even under 15 or even under 10, depends on the day. So instead of going up, I always drop it and come down. I don't smoke anything else other than cigarettes, mind you, and a little bit of coffee, a little bit more than a little bit of coffee, but anyway. But I flush it out. I've been to the doctor 2 times. 2 times I've been to the doctor. The last time was about 7 years ago. The doctor could not believe I'm smoking. He said, what are you doing? I couldn't even explain to him. He almost kicked me out because he wouldn't believe that I'm a smoker. I smoke. Wait here for a minute. I don't feel like a cigarette now. I don't have much just to show you. Look, we smoke. I'm not like it. This smoke, and I'm in top condition. Better than any fitness and any health. Better. Not worse. I make coffee. You look next time. What comes in? What comes in is now. So what happens is when it comes out, I don't cough because I've got a smoker's cough in the sense of unhealthy. I cough because I'm healthy. And because my system will not accept the cigarette. I'm an addict to the cigarettes, but it comes out of my system pretty quickly. Once it's out pretty quickly, within seconds, from breathing exercise, for example, is one way of doing it. Then usually, when it comes in, it's like starting again, except that I'm an addict at this time and I'm not a beginner. So I need to smoke. But it's like starting again, and the system's not accepting, so I end up coughing. I want to cough it out, which is actually good, because it coughs out all the shit. But if I get used to it and don't do the exercises, I will not cough for this reason. I will cough for the other reason of being ill. You see? And that will be bad for you. Just like there's good fat and bad fat, as in oil or whatever. And so are good things in life and bad things in life. So is a good life. The reason why I smoke is this is one of the bigger. In Asia, masters might do that. Not all of them. A lot of them use coffee. Some of them don't even use coffee. They use maybe carrot juice. They'll use that. Children don't use a smoking habit. Try carrot juice. But to some rare cases like myself, this does me good. Not bad. People will find that hard to believe. The reason being is because if you look at my lifestyle, I'm walking around doing things even when I'm not. Even now that I'm on my rest period, I'm filming something, I'm talking, I'm using my vocal cord when I'm supposed to be resting. And if you notice me, I'm walking around and can't sit still. Very rarely I sit still. The old-fashioned Greeks made a statement years ago saying that the cigarette rests you. Today, scientists say this is not the case. Cigarettes do not rest you. Scientists are right, but so are the Greeks. What the Greeks meant in the old translation is not that the cigarette rests you. It means that by smoking, and actually taking the time to sit down, even then I can't sit down most of the time, and would actually rest. 1, 2, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, you've been up on the cigarette. So the actual cigarette now, because of this, I will not rest there for any other reason. Not for carrot juice, not for this or that. Sometimes I may, sometimes I do that, but not in rare occasions. I used to do it like the younger days. But I will do that for a coffee and a cigarette. I will take the time sometimes. Sometimes I won't even do that. Sometimes I will take the time to sit down and just rest. In training, you need rest as well as hard training. It goes both ways. You need everything in the balanced way of work. You cannot move the way I move 16 hours a day, shoving me out there. And I'm talking about hard work. And sometimes during the night straight after that, without any sleep and survive, you will die. So the cigarette for me, not for you. But for me, it does me well because it makes me rest for 5 minutes every hour or every 20 minutes. The actual rest, not the cigarette that makes me rest, but because I smoke and drink coffee, I would want to sit down and have a rest. Otherwise, you'll never get me sitting down. You'll never get me sitting. In most cases, sometimes I do sit down, but in most cases, I will not sit down. If I do, I'm feeling around with my thumbs like this. I've got to keep going. I'm hyperactive in the sense of the good one. I've been trained. I'm very fit. I'm that fit. I can work in the farm, shoveling. I'm talking about hard work. If you shovel the ground for 16 hours for 3 months straight, 7 days a week, and I only slept at night, you will know what physical fitness is. I don't do that a lot. I don't do it all the time. After 3 months on my rest, from that work, I do something else. You see, which is just as hard or easy. If I'm not doing physical work, that's one time that I do rest. But I'm always smoking doing that. I might do computers. I might not be training physically, but I'm training the mind. Doing physical, mental work. It's still The mind still needs rest as much as the body. So by me having a cigarette, the actual sitting down, listening. So for me, this is a secret in Asia. For me, very, very rare cases is that the cigarette is actually good for me. For me, not for you necessarily, unless you're in that rare case. Because this can also be done with carrot juice. You don't have to have a cigarette, you can sit down and have a carrot juice. But for me, I'm never going to do that with carrot juice. In rare cases, I might. If I have a carrot juice, I have to have a smoke in my hand. Even water that goes contrary to the cigarette, I have to have a cigarette in my hand. But anything that I drink, I have to have a cigarette. Can't drink anything without a cigarette. Today I am because I'm talking to you. But I've got my coffee right there ready. So unless I have some coffee, I'm not going to continue smoking these. I'll probably bun it out. I wasn't going to have a cigarette, but I'm just saying. This is very, very rare cases, okay? Because I clean it out. If I didn't clean it out, it would be very bad for me. But I take the time to clean it out. I'm actually fitter than most people that do marathon runs. I can look in the ground. I might film that if I get a camera that can film 16 hours in a shower. I'll do it for 3 months, and you'll see the camera going for 3 months straight. And other than sleeping at night, I will be working up there. Sometimes I'll work at nights in the farm, on my computer. So people might find that odd to believe, but this is a hidden mystery in Asia. A lot of Asians may use marijuana for that. It works better with that. But they only do it like once a week. I don't use marijuana because I'm totally against drugs, even cigarettes. But I use cigarettes. In very rare cases, they can use cigarettes. Okay, it's actually the marijuana that does that because it helps it, knocks them out after the week is over and they get a decent sleep. Otherwise, they'll die. So they need it. Sleep. Me, I can use a cigarette because I can do that, but not necessarily everybody can do that with a cigarette. It's more rare. In most cases, they use marijuana, but that's a different issue. In most cases, marijuana and cigarettes and coffee are legal and should never be used or treated in any way. Children stay off it. Use a carrot juice. Don't even use coffee. If you're an adult and you get in a rare case, I will understand, and I think the law would too. But that's a rare case. Okay? So we'll continue this soon.